It's a bountiful day in this hollow earth. A beautiful day for a hybrid. Do they shift shape? Boy, I feel great. Won't you be my cousin? Good morning, everybody. We are back after a long break. The kids were home for a week and a half from school for whatever break it is right now. Winter break, spring break, daylight savings break, daylight spendings break. You name it, we got it. But we are back for the most important meal of the day. Shrimp for breakfast, y'all! Oh, shit! And you know that means we got those dank homegrown greens. You gotta get your greens if you want to stay mean. And you know we need that strong black cup of coffee to keep those teeth yellow, y'all. They ain't gonna stay yellow by themselves. Nothing gets the creative juices flowing, gets you in touch with your intuition more. They're getting blasted out your mind and caffeined up with that beautiful, beautiful bean. I'm talking flowers and beans, y'all. Let's give it up for some flowers and beans, y'all. Oh, yeah. We back. Busted a little workout this morning while I was watching the lead up to the UFC this weekend. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sugar Sean O'Malley! Super hyped about this weekend. We got some great ones talking about Ngannou. Y'all know what I'm talking about. My fight fans know what I'm talking about. But here we are with another shrimp for breakfast. So happy to be back. So hyped to be back. So happy to connect with y'all. We got some juicy questions today. We got a lot going on as usual. But first, let's just give a little thanks to the weed guys. Oh, yeah. So good once it hits your lips. Woo! Oh, yeah. The best combination in the world, y'all. Just been chilling, banging on this magic puzzle, really coming together, digging deep for those layers of storytelling, those layers of mythology. We getting it in there. It is week 4 in the Ghostshrimp Classic Workshop round 14. The group is fucking amazing. Shout out to y'all. Oh my God, what a powerful group we have this round. And we are getting into editorial illustration this week. We are getting into habits and routines this week, y'all, which you know is the most important ingredient to success. No matter who you think you are, no matter who people see you as, you are your habits and routines. What you do every day by default, right? So the hack is to direct those to complement your goals and streamline your lifestyle to make things easier. And the people that don't really stop to think about it end up just getting in their own way over and over again and wondering why it's so hard to get anywhere. Habits and routines are the difference, right? When habits and routines control you, you ain't going nowhere. When you are directing your habits and routines, bam, now we getting somewhere, baby. It took me a little bit to figure that out. It's the first step into creating your own reality. And trust me, you ain't going to be fulfilled if you ain't controlling your own reality. Take it from your boy. Take it from your shrimp in the forest. Speaking of shrimp in the forest, I made an amazing behind the scenes little studio tour, little walk in the Ghostshrimp National Forest, a little walk and talk for everybody that pre-ordered the Lost Forest coloring book. We will drop the little form for that today. If you pre-ordered the book, you are going to get access to the behind the scenes video, and you are going to get the cover uncolored to download and color for yourself while you wait for the book, yo! So be sure to, if you haven't pre-ordered it yet, pre-order it now. I'm gonna get that form up, that bonus collection form up there in the link in bio today. Go check it out. I'll make sure it's up by the time this video's up. And this is really the push. Now it's going to be, we are like about, 5-ish weeks away from the release. Coming out 4/16 and 4/20, we are having a big community book drop party in town here in Hardwick in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont at the Galaxy Bookshop. And if you want to come and draw and color and watch Adventure Time cartoons, we are doing a absolute blowout, a cross-promotional event with the community center here, the Civic Standard. We're cooking up something special, so stay tuned for all the info. Everyone is welcome, and we're going to have a rip-roaring good time, y'all! But either way, make sure you pre-order the book, because we're even working right now on getting another book deal with Penguin Random House, the world's largest book publisher. And this is our opportunity to really get into that world of publishing and really make some noise and really have some fun. This is literally one of the best, most fun projects I've ever worked on. And you know that the bar is high because I don't work on anything that's not fun, anything I don't enjoy, right? I would rather live in the woods in a tent than have to take jobs that I don't want to do. And you can put that money in the bank because I already done it, y'all. That's where I started, y'all. Started in the woods in a tent. Started in the woods in a tent. All right, so let's get to some of these fan questions. Please go to the YouTube. If you're already here, subscribe, like, share with someone that needs to hear this shit. I know you got friends that need a little shrimp in their life, y'all. A little shrimp in their step. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel, right? Subscribe, comment, put a question in the comments so I can answer it for y'all. Can I come up with stuff to talk about on my own? Yes. Can I share stuff on my own? Yes. Is it more fun to interact with y'all and fucking keep this relationship alive? Absolutely, right? We're humans. Let's get this party going, y'all. Shrimp love to party. If you didn't know, now you know. Shrimp are universal. They transcend all culture, all stereotypes. When's the last time you ever heard anybody trying to shit talk about some shrimp? Never, y'all. Certainly not at Red Lobster. All right, so we got some great questions from our girl Jennifer Aranda from the Columbia College, Chicago, studying CG animation and game art. She's got a little nice intro here, and then she asked some great questions. Let's jump into it. Number one, how does freelance work differ from contract work based on your experiences? I mean, I think it's about the same, really. I mean, you know, the difference, I'm not like, I mean, when you're freelancing, you are kind of a contract, you're like a contracted, you know, you're like an outside contractor or a freelancer. It's kind of all the same. You know, you're being hired as like you're not an employee in the company. You are a external contractor who is working for a certain period of time, right? So the only time I've been an employee was for Cartoon Network when I was working on Adventure Time, and my very short stint on Flapjack before that. And that's not really my bag. I am a born freelancer because I'm an independent artist and I like to work in across genres. My goal is to make the most personal, weirdest, funkiest, most inspired, most creative, most exploratory, most intuitional work I possibly can, right? And being an employee, that's not really the same path, right? Are there certain crossovers there? Absolutely. I mean, Adventure Time was an absolute dream job, and they let me do whatever I wanted within the parameters of that show, and the parameters of that show were my destiny. They were suited to fit me by the art gods, right? That was clearly meant to happen. That was why I went there. I was born in the forest, right? I was born in the forest. I live in the forest. I am a forest human. There are urban humans. There are suburban humans. There are forest humans, and I am one of them, right? That's where I am most powerful. It's really important to identify what sort of human you are, because there are lots of deviations. You know, we like to make all these other fake deviations and distinctions and all that. But your natural habitat is really going to allow you to more easily fulfill your dream life, fulfill your dopest life, right? When we're in the workshop, we're always thinking about the dopest life manifesto, what that dream life looks like. Who do you really want to be? Where do you really want to be? Who do you really want to be around? And what do you really want to be doing there, right? What does it look like? What does it sound like? But yeah, freelance means that you are pursuing jobs that you want to get. You are being offered jobs that you want to get. They are generally for a shorter amount of time. My jobs will last anywhere. I mean, I have some long ones. Freelancing on this new SpongeBob movie that hasn't come out yet. I think it's supposed to come out soon. Doing months long stints on that. Doing months long stints on or a year long stint on Escape from Hat. I actually can't remember if I was employee or no. I don't think I was an employee on that because I wasn't living in the same place. Typically, oh fuck, I lost my shrimp. Can't lose your shrimp. Typically, I work for, it could be a couple weeks, a month, a couple months. When I was starting out in my career and doing editorial stuff, like we're talking about in the workshop this week for the New York Times, I was working, 3 days. Friday get the assignment, Monday turn it in, right? So it could be really anything, and it allows you to, you know, have time to work on your personal work. I did that at Cartoon Network as well, but I was very busy at Cartoon Network, so that was where I was really putting it in. I mean, I was 60 hours, 80 hours plus easy when I was, doing album covers while I was working on Adventure Time, doing upwards of a dozen backgrounds a week, and then, working on album covers and other illustrations in the background. Because that's just how I'm wired, y'all. I'm built different. People say that. This shrimp is wired differently. If you're an employee, you are working at that company and your paycheck is dependent on that one company, and you have to you have to do what you're told, and you have to, abide by that company's overall ethical policies and all these other things, which we see now can be very problematic. And also just overall stifle creativity, right? The bigger the business, the more money there is, the more people in the room. When you're talking about art, the harder it is to do something unique and creative. And that's why my goal was never to stay in the animation industry, because it's the upper echelon, it's the peak of the mountain, which means there's the most money available, which is nice. But money really doesn't matter, right? The maximum, I need 100% creative control of a project that I'm working on, and Adventure Time gave me that. And it was the right fit, right? Because if I have 100% creative control and it's the wrong fit, they're going to let me go, right? Like Flapjack. So the more people in the room, the more people making those decisions, the harder it is to just follow that intuitional creativity, right? Then it gets all segmented and chopped up and sped up and maxed out and stretched out and burnt out. Can there be employee situations that are a great fit? Yes. But they're few and far between, and I'm much more comfortable working for myself. As we all know, I have a aversion to the status quo. I have an aversion to being told what to do. I have an aversion to authority, even if it's a cool setup. I just like to do my own thing. Even when I worked at Cartoon Network, I was mostly working from my apartment, sitting there, smoking weed all day, pretending I was just working in a vacuum, right? I mean, not working in a vacuum, but pretending that nothing else existed, right? When I am working, when I am doing my creative diving, nothing else exists. I am alone at the bottom of the ocean. I'm alone. I am the shrimp at the bottom of my own fucking ocean on my own fucking planet. And that's where the magic happens. So I can't be in an office talking to people and fucking people coming in and oh, now do this, now do that. You're more like a puppet in that situation, and I ain't got no strings to hold me down. It's just against my from day one. I told y'all I had a science seat. They made me stay back in kindergarten because I couldn't follow the rules. I had a science seat on the bus in kindergarten because I couldn't follow the rules, and they had to just push me through school and get me out the door to get me out of there, right? And then I went to Pratt, and then I was in charge, and then I got to do what I wanted, and then it was all good, baby, and I was never looking back, right? Never looking back. Never had a boss since then. Love my parents, always been supportive, still just didn't work to be told what to do for me, right? We can talk about what to do. We can make a collaborative plan. But if I'm being restrained, if I'm being restricted, it's just I break out. I go nuts. Right? You put me in the box, I'm blowing through the wall. So yeah, the experience, the difference is just that. It's that I can't be fired when I'm the boss, and I get to call the shots, and I get to say, no, I don't want this work. Yes, I want to take this work. And that's what allowed me to never accept a job that I wasn't super inspired by, fired up by, connected to, thought I could do an amazing job with, saw how this evolved my craft, saw how this evolved my career, right? I don't have it all planned out. I have a vision of who I want to be. I have a vision of where I want to be. I have a vision of where I'm going next. And when stuff comes in and crosses that path and lines up with it, bam, let's fucking go, right? You got the dough, let's go, right? Then the secondary is the money, right? Creativity first, then get the bag. Always get what you're worth, right? You got to build that up. I was working for free. I was working for $100. I was working for $200. I was working for $500. I was working for $1,000. Now, less than $3,000 probably going to have to pass just because of the amount of work that I even have to turn down that I would take that does pay that or better, right? We're talking $3,000 a week. We're talking $4,000 a week. We're talking for animation stuff. We're talking, minimum of about $3,000 to $5,000 to get into the illustration game with me at this point, right? And that's just because of all that's like I've earned that 21 years in the game, right? But came from scratch, came from working for free for my friends, and once I'm financially independent, once I have a whole bunch of wealth accrued, because we're still just using all our money to build our house and raise our kids and fund our lifestyle, right? Then maybe it could reset, because money isn't the goal. Money's never been the goal. I don't give a fuck about money, but I'm not stupid, and I know that I need money to give to other people to get what I want in life, right? So, that's a disconnect for a lot of artists. They have real trouble when it comes to the money, and I never did. I was very clear that money don't mean shit, but I need money as well, right? It's the paradox of life, right? I don't give a shit about money, but I better be serious about getting what I'm worth if I want to move forward in my career and continue to do what I want to do, right? Because life gets more expensive as you go, trust me. I used to be able to survive on $500 a month. That's not the case anymore. But let me tell you, I make more money now living in the woods of Vermont, creating my own reality, living in my own forest in the middle of fucking nowhere than I even did in LA. So you can do whatever you want, right? The only limitation is the ones you put in your mind. So it's really just an ethical choice. It's like, do you want to be told what to do? There are certain people who are uncomfortable. They are insecure. They are not confident enough for one reason or another. No judging, right? Everybody has their own struggles in life and everybody's on their own journey. And, I've been at different places in my life too. But if you the reason to work for somebody else is that you're not confident enough that you can pull it off by yourself, right? That's what it comes down to. I've talked to a lot of people about this in the workshop and with friends and everything, and I was hell bent. I said, I am either gonna fail chasing my own fucking dream, or I'm gonna fucking, I would rather fail on my own terms than succeed being told what to do. And I was crystal clear about that in high school. There was no two ways about it. And everybody that knows me will vouch. How do you keep yourself motivated to create art? Come on, y'all. This is just Shrimp you talking to. Because my goals have always been to create my own reality. Because I had reality forced upon me and was forced into the school system that tried to break me down, and I refused to be broken, and I realized that this is all bullshit. This is just how other people have it set up, and I can go off and set up my own shit, and that's what I've done. And so within that, I am infinitely motivated to to entertain myself, to have fun at the desk. I draw for the same reason that I sat down as a kid to draw, right? I want to come up with I have all these crazy ideas in my mind, and I want to see if I can capture them on paper. It's the same thing I've been doing since I could hold a pencil. Literally, it's not an exaggeration. That is the same thing. I am always delighted. I am always inspired. I am always overflowing with ideas. I never run out of ideas, right? The one thing that's ever stopped me from, I mean, not even when my dad died, I still was working on like my secret smokeouts crypto stuff, but it did slow down a lot. It just took the joy from my soul. So then I didn't have even the desire to create the joy on the page, right? It was a struggle at that in that time period, but obviously I've worked my way back up, and now we're stronger than fucking ever, y'all, because that's how life works. It puts a challenge in your way, and when you overcome that challenge, you are stronger than when you stepped up to it, right? Step up to get your rep up, show up to show out. So I'm always motivated. I always have a million ideas. I have a million pots in the oven. I have a million fucking beans in the bag. I have a million flowers in the field growing all the time. As a freelance, I'm a natural freelancer. I'm always planting seeds. I'm talking to these people, because a couple years down the road, something's gonna happen. Right? It's not the first time they see your work. It's not necessarily the first time you talk to them that it connects, right? This Disney project I'm gonna jump on in May, we've been talking about for the last couple years, right? With his friends, yeah, it's an ongoing process, and it's creative lifestyle. Your whole life should be creative. That's why I want to design and build my own house. That's why I want to live in my own forest, where I can create the own forest like an illustration, like the Ghostshrimp National Forest, like a state park, where I can collaborate with Mother Nature in the ultimate act of creation, and have people come and stay in here and interact with it, right? Shout out Ghost Fest, shout out art residencies in the Ghostshrimp National Forest every fucking summer, y'all. We've had so many people come here and live and hang and enjoy the Ghostshrimp simulation here, right? Yeah, I just keep myself motivated by always doing what I want to do, and then that always makes you, right. It's a leapfrog where you go, okay, I have this crazy idea in my head. Can I capture it technically on paper? And then once you can do that, it's hard. It takes a long time. I used to not be able to do it. Like, oh, it kind of looks like it. Oh, it kind of looks like it. And then eventually you get there, and then when you get there, you're like, "Fuck, yes, I did it! I fucking I can think up this shit. I can capture it. Wow!" And then it goes, and then the new level opens up, and then you go, "Oh shit! Now I got this idea. Now I have to try to capture this shit." Right? You notice my work has grown and evolved over the years, even though I've done largely the same process of inking. I was doing it physical, and now I'm doing it digital. It's really the same process. It looks the same, whether I'm inking on, whether I'm dipping a brush in ink and putting it on watercolor paper, or whether I'm using that ink brush on digital now and doing it digitally. It's the same process. But within that, I've evolved my world. I've explored my world. I feel like everything I do happens in a world, and I want to keep exploring it, right? I understand life through my art, and I understand my art through life. Without either one, I would be lost. And I think if you're feeling lost, it's because you're missing the other half. You're disconnected from your purpose, from that intuitional compass, from that creativity. We are creative animals no matter what you do. And if you're in a place where you're being told what to do and not allowed to express yourself and express your creativity, you're going to be stunted. You're going to be blunted. You're going to be lost. You're going to be buried. You're going to be fucking dried up, right? How do you feel? Because I feel like I'm dripping fucking wet all the time because I'm the shrimp, yeah. How has social media affected you? Well, social media, like everything, is a paradox. It's a double-edged sword. Your greatest strengths are your greatest weaknesses, and your greatest tools can be turned against you. So you got to be careful how you wade into those waters because it can pull a lot of your attention away. But I came up in the age of the dawn of social media where MySpace was popping, and then that led to Facebook, and then that led to Instagram, and Twitter, and all these other ones. But yeah, being able to jump on MySpace. I've always had a website, and I fully recommend everybody having a website because it's going to be forever, and these things are obviously cyclical. The fucking, all the socials are bullshit. But it's a town square where you can come in and you can show people your shit. So, I fully took advantage of that with MySpace and also just contacting fucking musicians I want to work with because MySpace was so music oriented. They had the music players on there and like all the indie bands were on there and the rappers and shit. And I was able to just directly connect. So the ability to directly connect and the ability to broadcast in a place where everybody is like a no-brainer. You have to use it. You have to wrap your head around how to use that tool. You're going to be left behind if you don't do it, right? I didn't have a cell phone for a long time. When in LA, I got rid of my cell phone, and then for the first decade plus, I didn't have a cell phone here in Vermont. We just had a home phone that I used. But I was missing out on the Instagram, on the socials, and so I did get back on there with an iPod, and then that did end eventually pull me back into actually using a cell phone again. For that ease of social media, but do it on your own terms. Don't play their game, right? Life is a series of games, and you need to be careful not to start playing by other people's arbitrary rules. You always have to play by your own fucking rules, or you're not you, right? You are you. You are unique. There is no one like you. If you respect your potential, you can't even imagine how big your destiny can be because I've already blown past everything I could even have ever seen for myself or anybody else realistically saw for me coming up, I have transcended all of it, and now I'm playing with house money. It's a free game, right? It's like I've already done everything I could have imagined. So now I get to have a whole second life. It's a different kind of midlife crisis, right? Where I've done everything, and now it's not a crisis at all. It's now I get to dream a whole nother lifetime and go out and chase it. So if the gods allow me to stay in this form, you're going to see me do it all over again. And the crisis is really coping with the loss of people around me and the deterioration of people around me and the loss of vision of people around me. It's coping with, it sounds weird, but it's like coping with the struggle of wanting to bring people along with me that don't want to come. That's the struggle right now. That's my midlife crisis right now is just figuring out that it's okay if people want to stay where they're at, right? My mission is to evolve, right? But most people around me are revolving. They're spinning in circles, and they're confused, and they're anxious, and they're stressed, and they're depressed, and they are stuck, and they don't know how to get out, right? They don't know where that evolution starts to go, right? But it's listening to your intuition. It's forgetting. It's remembering that fucking money doesn't mean shit if you aren't yourself, right? There's no sense in money unless you know who you are and you're doing what you want to do and you're using it to do what you want to do, right? That's the only reason to have money is to do what you want to do, right? I mean, obviously there's a base level of needs, but let's be real. Like, if you work hard, if you have work ethic, you can make a living anywhere, People are doing it. People have always done it, right? Uh, 4. What advice would you give to someone who is anxious about sharing their stuff on social media? Get over it. You need to do it. And what advice would you give to aspiring artists? Yeah, forget about everyone else and focus in on your own personal mythology, your own nostalgia. Keep making the art you want to make the art you want to see in the world. Fucking forget about mainstream reality. That shit's all bullshit, and create your own fucking reality. That's as simple as that. It sounds oversimplified, but I'm a very simple-minded person, and that's the only way I've gotten here, is just breaking it down to its base components and saying fuck it, let's go. I'm either gonna, and not being afraid to fail. If you're afraid to fail, you will never succeed, and that's a fucking fact. The only reason I was able to get where I am is because I said, I don't care if I fail. If I fail, great. At least I will be me. I would rather fucking fail being me than succeed at being someone fucking else. Forget all that shit. So, bam! There you go. Shrimp for breakfast, yo! Oh, shit! Ask me more questions. I'll tell you no lies. Bam. Come chill with me at the bottom of the ocean, motherfucker.